And even after doing all this, I even managed to clear exams like JAM, JEST, INET, and TIFR. And anyway, I got to go to IIT even after doing BSc. If you still feel like you want to go to IIT, you had that aim somewhere back in your head, then you still have a chance, and JAM is the exam for it. Next is, I had told that I would, since I don't usually just give my opinion or advice on how one should study, because it is very subjective thing. Every person has a different style of studying. So if I go and tell someone what things work for me, that might not suit for him, and that might actually do bad for that person. So I usually refrain from giving such opinions or advices. But you should be thorough with the syllabus. Many people ask me what they should study, and I guess that most of them don't know that the syllabus is just available online. You can just go and search for JAM website, whichever the next JAM is being conducted by IC. You just go to that website and check the syllabus, so you know what is expected in that exam. There are other exams also that I gave, like JEST and TFR, INAT, and same thing goes. That you can check the paper pattern and their syllabus online. INAT doesn't have any syllabus as such. INAT is Ayuka NCRA admission test, which you should know that you can appear in your third year of BSc itself. It is specifically for astronomy though. And you can get pre-selected. When I gave INAT in third year, Ayuka only offers PhD programs, not MSc and not integrated PhD or anything. But they pre-selected me in third year itself, because so the condition was that I just complete my MSc somewhere and then I can just go and join PhD. So there's a possibility of already getting an offer in BSc itself. So okay, so let's go to, many of you might be thinking about how to study, how to go about it. When I had talked to Devin, he had told me that most of the people are somewhere just starting their second year, but I would assume that there are third years also on first year. But yeah, so how to study? So in my opinion, whatever you study, you only study if it's really enjoyable to you, and it should not be. So there are two terms, something called as mul stress and eustress. So when you do something, you get stressed. If you're doing something a lot. But there are two types of stresses: one which drives you ahead, which you feel like doing more and more, and one which drains you off when you do it. So that type of stress is not usually good. So if you are feeling that, then you need to think about whether you really want to do this and go ahead, or is there something else. Being Jaman, I won't say that everyone should do physics itself or whatever, science itself, but surely science is a really great field and I love it very much. But if it's not, if you're just doing it because everyone else is doing, then you should rethink about it. So my advice would be, go with the flow. So if you go and check the syllabus, most of the broad topics, for example, in physics, you have classical mechanics, thermodynamics, modern physics, and most of these have a corresponding course in your bachelor's. So in my opinion, you should study alongside your undergraduate courses. So if JAM syllabus includes electrodynamics section, then I should tackle electrodynamics and when my electrodynamics course is there in my 3 years of BSc. So that way things get streamlined, and whatever you do, it gets benefited for your university as well as your college work, as well as for your entrance, all your entrance exams for that matter. I don't know exactly, because the things might have changed after autonomy in Ferguson College. You might be getting more assignments and stuff. So maybe we can discuss about that issue if there is any in the questions interaction session. But make the most of whatever you're studying. So that's what I would say. Also, again, if you're doing electrodynamics, then you go and search the internet, what are the books for electrodynamics. For example, Griffiths is the most popular for electrodynamics, and then you carry that, like you issue or take that and you carry it with you while you're studying electrodynamics, not just for jam but also for your university. And make sure you go through uh, and make sure you study all the things that are there in the university as well as university exam as well as in the jam syllabus. So like this, just do study regularly every day whatever is being taught, whatever are the concepts that are being covered in the syllabus. Whatever, as I told, whatever points are not covered, then go study on their own. Regarding books, I have made a video on my YouTube channel about the books that I had referred, so you may check it out. I'll show it to you later. And but it is not like that I use those specifically. Some of them I really liked, but others are, I just go to library search or go online search that particular concept wherever I get it. As long as I understand it, it doesn't matter which book or which source it comes from, as long as I understand the concept. So it's not that you should take a book and religiously read it like a novel or something from start to end. Just do the bits that you should know or which are interconnected, which helps you understand other concepts. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know every single detail of the book. And also, when you go ahead, you realize that the basics are all that matters. Those details really don't matter. For example, when you do internship or projects or you start a PhD, whatever the physics basics are, what is what is important, and that is base is the time where you build those basics, and those basics help you lifelong. When you go to a depth of a subject, you, for example, in MSc or even in BSc, there are some topics that are studied in depth, but that doesn't help you beyond a certain point, because when you actually go and start applying them in project, you're anyway going to go and open the book and look at it again, and or you might have forgotten it or whatever, but you will go and look at it again, so make sure that you understand it. And when you read it, the main thing is that you should understand it, and for that you require basics. You don't require the in-depth knowledge. So make sure you understand physics, the language of physics. So after you go ahead and you open some book, at least you understand what the author wants to communicate. You should not be illiterate. So that's the whole point of BSc, in my opinion. So syllabus, I'm saying again and again because it's a very important thing. You just go, for example, I have it here. So let me just host enabled participant screen sharing. Enabled?
Yeah, enabled.
Okay, yeah. So for example, I've just opened up this syllabus website. You just go through the syllabus and you just take a printout of it, put it on your wall or whatever. So this is like a guideline for you. This is not just a syllabus for JAM. This is, since it is designed by IIT and ISC, this is also something that you can say that it is expected for an undergraduate student, whoever has done BSc Physics should know all of these things. So this is like the benchmark or the level of whatever education system is there in India. And this is what is expected to know once you're done with the BSc. So for example, my suggestion would be just go through the syllabus. For example, mechanics and general properties of matter. So you just look at the points, and you also go and look up what courses are you going to get in your BSc courses in first year, second year, third year, all of them. Look at the syllabus, which are usually the syllabi is usually available. So, and go through it point by point and see which points are going to get covered in your BSc and which points are not. There might be quite a lot of sections that might not get covered in your coursework. So mark them out as different, because you'll have to study them separately. For example, say we have here Coriolis forces. Suppose you have done your mechanics course and you have not really encountered Coriolis force, then there is something that you have to study by yourself from some different source, be it some book or just online, just surfing the internet. And make sure you study, like, suppose you're studying for mechanics, you study your university stuff, and in some fine Sunday you feel like studying mechanics, then you go through these points which you know are not going to get covered, and then you can study them in your free time whenever you feel like studying. You can study the concept and then also try some problems based on it, so that you know how to apply them too. So I think syllabus this is a great page, because this just outlines everything that you're supposed to know by the end of your BSc. That you don't have to think if you know more than this, well and good, but like, you should not be guilty of that. But if you know less of this, then should think of it as your responsibility to study yourself, because everyone else in India is studying that. So if you want to be on par with everyone else, then this one page is quite helpful. So yeah. So next thing is this. I would say there are two ways of doing it. For talking about JAM specifically, download the previous year question papers or buy a book of previous question papers and mock tests. Whatever content you're studying, for example, as I told, if you've just done mechanics, if you're completed with that course, then go and attempt mechanics related questions from previous year question papers or some sample question papers, which are usually available online, or there are people go ahead and join test series and all, but that is at a later, it's fine at a later stage. But you can always use these question papers and just do those questions which you have already done studying, not that you're not something new, or you'll get you should not get panicky or you'll get anxious about it. Whatever courses you're done, you think you have already studied all the points which are there in the syllabus, just go and attempt questions so you know what kind of questions you are expected to know and whether you can solve it, or which areas are there that need more refining of concepts, problem solving. So that is another useful. I used to carry this Griffiths book and just read those corresponding parts, whatever is being taught, and just solve a few questions to make sure whether I understand them or not. I did not really do anything more than this. As I said, I didn't specifically study for any entrance exam. I was just studying because I wanted to understand, and that gave me miraculous results. So okay, I'll even tell some of the things that my sister did. My sister is also under 200 rank when she gave JAM. She's currently at IUCAA doing PhD. She decided that she wanted to do physics. She was doing physics. She was doing BSc because it was not because of physics, because she felt the BSc was best for her, and she actually decided that physics should be her major subject was after second year, when she was deciding between her other subjects and physics. And so she decided that she wanted to do physics after second year. And again, she did not specifically study for JAM, but she had been studying regularly. So the thing that she did, she's probably started somewhere around in December of her third year, and she understood that she will have to give JAM exam. She might have to give JAM exam. And so again, what she did was open up the syllabus, look at the points, look at the topics that she has already studied, look at the topics that she has not studied, and she listed down those topics that she didn't know, studied them from some source like H.C. Verma or University of Physics. And she also went through the corresponding solved examples so that she knew how to solve those particular problems. And that's pretty much it. And she did really well. So also one good thing about there could be some difficult topics in the syllabus. The good thing about them is the topic is difficult in such that then usually the questions that are asked based on it are not that difficult. These are just basics. So if there is some very high level topic, then they don't really ask high level questions on it. They ask a very basic level question on it. Physics. One more thing, which is an important thing, because this was a talk which was supposed to be on JAM. There could be a question or an expectation set that, okay, everyone is supposed to clear JAM or get through the exam. If it's not, then it's well and good. But if you don't clear, so let me take if some people have the pressure upon you, that it's not necessary that you should clear JAM and get into it. There are many other opportunities that are out there. I just happen to take this one. For example, many people from my class, my seniors, some of my juniors have joined at German universities for their masters. Another example is one of the MSc students at Fergusson College. She did her project at IUCAA, and then for PhD she went to Cambridge, and right now she's back to IUCAA doing some work. Another example is my sister. She did her MSc from Fergusson College itself, and then went on to clear INET and get a PhD at IUCAA. So even there are many friends who have joined MSc at Pune University, and if I compare MSc with them, it is talking about the content or the level or at which things are being taught. Both are good. It doesn't matter. It's not that IITs or IIC is the only place where you get good education. There are other universities also where similar things are being taught at a similar level. The only difference that IIT really made, or I think I felt is the tag of IIT, and the other is the exposure that you get at IIT. There are a lot of collaborations at IIT. The research that is being conducted is at a better level, and you get to attend more seminars. You get to meet more people. For example, being engineering institute, I had taken one of the courses from engineering department, like aerospace department, which was kind of relevant to me. And you get to meet through clubs and different social activities. You need to get to you get to meet more people from different backgrounds, and you get a wider perspective of what you're doing and what things are. That is one of the great points of IIT. Regarding tag, for example, one of the professors at IIT, when I had gone to him to ask for a recommendation, since I was applying to TIFR at that moment, I needed some recommendation. So he said that he would give, but he said that I should also look up universities. He looked at my CGPA, and he said that looking at your performance, you can easily get universities like MIT, Stanford, Harvard. If you apply, the reason behind it, he said that you already have the IIT tag. American universities already recognize IITs a lot, especially IIT Mumbai. Then he would give a recommendation. The professors at places like IIT usually have a good reputation on the international level. So usually they have connections, and they have published some good work. And the third thing was CGPA, which was again good in my case. So he said that I would easily get at places like this. So this is one of the point at which the tag of IIT really gives a boost to the people. But if I compare the physics, what I learn, I think you can learn it by yourself or any other universities. So it's not that if you don't get, the doors get closed. Another good thing about IIT is the alumni network. It has a very strong alumni network. All the alumni are always connected with IIT for different events and different programs, and I get lifetime membership of IITB, so I can anytime visit for any work there and get and use the IIT facilities. So that is another great point about IIT. So yeah, so the point being that these are some of the benefits of IIT. But if you talk about physics, it doesn't matter where you are. Even we need to do a master's to get into PhD and stuff like that. But even if you, for example, not doing PhD, you can study by yourself and still understand physics. That's the point that I want to make. It doesn't depend on others or the institute. It depends on you, and the level is pretty much good at most of the places. Like I've compared Pune University and IIT syllabus and so on. Another thing is would be masters important is, in case of physics, it is directly helpful. If you want to get into research, you need to do MSc. For people who are doing maths and statistics, masters is a great way to get a good job. There are a lot of placements in maths and stats with good packages, at least what I've seen in IIT. Physics is not much job oriented. If you want to go and get a job, if you want to start earning and get financially well off, and then probably you may explore some other opportunities like doing MBA or civil services or some other things, because MSc physics is not exactly what will train you for those jobs, and so you should not expect that you'll get a better job if you do MSc physics. So that is pretty much it. I would just take this opportunity. Most of you might know there are some useful videos in this particular context, like these two. This is my interview and my views, which I anyway told in this video, but there are some other questions that I've answered in that video as well. And these are the reference book that I had used, and some I've also mentioned the ones that I liked a lot and recommend. So you might give a look. I told that I would just share my story, like how I studied. Maybe if you click with some points, you can take them. I will just describe my journey. So I would start from 10th standard, I guess.